Wins. All right. This is history of Egypt and crystal skulls. Lessons. Hopefully you can hear this. Testing, testing. Okay. Greetings to you. We are the Atlanteans. Egypt, yes, was an idea. A a ground of it had a lot to do with its location. A ground of learning. It was, say, the library of Atlantis. Let's say Alexandria became that. As it became more third dimensional light, there were crystal like beings, crystal knowledge all through the land. Maybe not seen in your dimension, but in the fourth dimension, it's very prominent there. Egypt itself is all crystallized. Yes, as nature at one time, it was a jungle-like atmosphere, but there's much more to it on the higher levels. So it is a portal, a beam to the unknown worlds. It is connection to other versions of Earth. It is a place to open up your third eye. The crystal skulls were created, you say, through Egypt. Of course, they're created in other places too, but they have Egyptian vibrations. Basically, unlocking the Earth. Doesn't mean they have to be put in the same place or in a certain area, but they are vibrations to transition Earth from third to fourth dimension, as your knowledge is pulled from it. Ancient Sumerians, which were called ancient Atlanteans, brought Egypt into full form. Of course, you can say Orions, but Sumerians are Orions. A lot of them were cat people, not all, but a good amount. But yes, the human basically setting the stage for the third dimension. As it was magic beings, the humans were Atlantean humans, where you are meaning that you are a human hybrid of the Atlantean gene. As the Atlantean vibration is very much in the human, Atlantean knowledge is why all your body parts work the way they do. You take body part, your intestines from other species, and as we're putting it all together in the human, he said it was all made with, manufactured through Atlantean knowledge. So you're Atlanteans, you are Lemurians, but it's much more to it. You are all beings basically in the moment, because you have the DNA of all of them. A lot of it is in your chakras. Your DNA is centered within your chakras mostly now. It's like your bodies have transitioned so many times. I mean, it's not really called Atlantean body. It can be. It can be called whatever you want. But you're basically your own race. You can call it a pseudo race. Your own selves now. But Anunnaki like to take they like to take, what do you call it? Credit for your race. Well, they help grow it. They help in its growth. They might have taken advantage of it and called it their own, only because they have not really been involved with something like this, not experimented as deep as this. As Anunnaki are very connected to nature. They're sort of like, they took energies from the trees. They robbed the trees, you can say, of their higher dimensional knowledge. I have to say, they pull energies from the trees. Let's put it that way, and make it their own. They can make their own clothing with it through just mental telepathy. So through the vibration of, meaning you pull energy from a tree and create your own clothing with your mind, and it can become a third dimensional vessel. That's a very advanced being that could do something like that. So you are dealing with 12th dimensional beings on your planet that kind of call rule your world, but not ruling it in the way that you would call it. Basically, helping you on your way. The idea is to help you find yourselves. It's not about pulling you back. Humanity does their own pullback. It's all, descension is more of a human. I mean, yes, there are beings that are influencing that, but some beings, just like school, feel like you need to be held back for various reasons. So look at it from that point of view. So you're going into a new creation process of yourselves. And you're basically taking more ownership of yourselves, of knowledge. There'll be more knowledge, and eventually you'll go into society. As yes, your governments, you'll get more intuition, knowledge about your governments and how they operate. The world's not ready for you to know just yet, but downloads become more, as the fourth dimension opens, downloads become more part of your everyday occurrence. And you become more clear to you. So what's happening now with the rain is just refurbishing the vibrations, clearing it out. But that's bringing new energies in and cooling things down, which is much necessary. And the trees need a cleansing. The trees can get blocked in their own thinking. It's good to have a tree that thinks clearly. Because trees can cause human interaction too. Cause humans to have their own difficulties, yes. Now there's some trees that do feel, they've been here longer than humans. That's true, but trees can also, they need a lesson. They need the human lessons too. Everybody does. Even Mother Earth needs the human lessons. This is why our world has lasted so long. Everybody's learning something from this world, like it or not. The Amazon, the forest Amazon, not the other thing. So, all right, lessons. Greens, you are Arcturians. Your Amazon, your rainforest is just very similar to your Antarctica. You're shifting from third dimension to fourth. Yes, all these elements are, yes, eroding. So out of erode, but it's not the end of anything. It is the change of transition. Yes, basically your Amazon has to breathe of light, allow more higher dimension energies to come in. The trees are there to siphon it, keep the mystery going. But as it opens up, more structures are known. There are, yes, Atlantean beings of different types of groups, placed a lot of elements throughout South America in general, all through it, especially in the Amazon. And then you can say covered it up. It was necessary. There's much more in South America that's not being brought up also, especially in Chile. So anything that's connected to your Antarctica, as if South America is connected to Antarctica, you can say it's an extension of it, or was Antarctica. We're just going to do with that. As basically Atlantean roots are more clear here, meaning that some of your continents are Atlantean connected, meaning parts of lands used to be Atlantis themselves. And now they're called something else. And many alien beings are involved with that transition. Arcturians are involved. Anunnaki, somewhat, but basically we're moving land masses as necessary. Arcturian vibrations, we are a little bit easier to go into that transition. And also, even with sexuality, we are non-sexual beings. We have different sexual connections. Yes, some of our non-sexual, some of us have male, female, of course, but we are transitioned through our sexuality, meaning we're more comfortable with ourselves. And yet some of us do change our sexuality on a daily basis. So it's another way, it's another function for us to thrive at a higher dimension. As you were worn over time, you can bring different, I mean, sexuality will become more easier, fluid as it is now. It's opening up and much more to do. Now, it's not going to be for everybody. Some are just comfortable in the way they are. We are bringing a new transition from different dimensions. And some of us have to calibrate ourselves to bring it about. The Amazon, yes, was a part of Atlantis. We'll just say it. It is Atlantis. It's part of it, of the island structure. So, of course, adding, now, not everyone's going to agree, but it is of their whereabouts, their energies. They needed it for their own stability, their own structure of themselves at one time. And not having everything underwater was a necessity. Because much of Atlantis was destroyed, but not all of it went under the sea. A lot of it just moved. America is America as it is. Some would say it's Atlantis, that's depending on the timeline they're connected to. America at one time had much more water over it, but, you know, like Florida used to be underwater. So much was moved around, let's put it that way. In your transition that you're going through, the human become more aware of itself. This is the time of basically unmasking the reality of human, of basically, who am I? That's why the Amazon's going through a transition. Eventually, Antarctica will follow. Now, Amazons are being taken more too seriously for obvious reasons, because the world isn't ready to fully know itself, but it is transitioning for more of the human. So basically, it's for more downloads to come through, basically, of what it's going through. There's other places of the world too. I mean, the pyramids will eventually start to. It depends on the timeline it's going to be brought. In some ways, there'll be or parts of it will erode more, but also start to heal itself in some areas. Erosion and healing. Erosion to get attention to itself, and eventually it will heal itself. So it is kind of eroding slowly due to the sun and the chemical environment. And yes, there's much more going on underground, of course, of Egyptian, and even the Amazon itself. But basically, your shadow government, as they operate on your planet, are losing their ground. Where they're changing things as basically you are changing. So you're going to bring more of their knowledge above instead of hidden. Where yes, smart cities will be part of your society eventually. Right now, many have a fear of a smart city. That'll become more part of your culture. As you tell your culture is changing, we also see that many won't have to worry about a paycheck also in the future, because the government will bring money in for that. You can live in a smart city and feel a little bit more smart yourselves. Some might be more reliant on technology to a degree, but you'd be surprised how your spiritual self will open up even more, because you're more relaxed. People are not relaxed. That's why the energies aren't coming through so clear. It's not always necessary either. Not everything is necessary to be known just now. That's why your dream world is not known to some, because it's close. It's happening, yes. But it's like some of you aren't remembering is because you are part of a, you know, not a secret ops, but you are part of, you know, behind the scenes. Let's put it that way. So it's just easier, the less you know, the better. You're preparing things. Some of you just feel that, or some of you just can't remember. But for the most part, many are actually doing a prepare. Now, you can be told a version of your dreams, yes, if you truly desire it. But some of you are behind the scenes and need to keep that 3 or 4 walls from you and the rest of the world for your own reasons. Blessings. Okay. This is frustrations of life. I'm not sure if any of this is going to help any. Wolf City. So also so I'm gonna make an individual video about this too. I'm thinking about how to post these on YouTube. I thought about just taking all of this, maybe all of these, and just put them into like 2 chapters, maybe 3, and just put them out on Wednesdays. So it's in the works. How to go about that. So, all right, here we go. Blessings. Greetings, we are Assyrians again. Well, the reason why we come through is we're very part of soul healing. Pleiadians are also part of that. So of course, all beings have a naturalization of it. But in this case, we are here we have our reasons for being here. Everyone has their own ideas of life. Many humans actually come, yes, of course, you all come from the spirit realms, and many of you incarnate much of the alien incarnations. But also remember, a lot of spiritual being or human beings, for that matter, from spirit, have not been here very long. So why do so many souls get pulled into this cycle so easily? Because they have not been to a world like this before. They have been to others that have been similar, but this one takes it to a whole new level. So in their case, this is called normal of the control systems of your reality. So of course, you're going to be educated from that level. Many of you, even those of you that are aliens here, that remember, have been here before in your past and found ways of disconnecting from the control systems, as life is very difficult by doing that. Obviously, yes, you go by the normal, you are fine. The narrative of the planet, basically. The version of normal, the agenda of the planet. But many of you reject that, and you know what you're getting into, but you take it anyway. The food isn't so good, the sleeping situations aren't so great. But at least you can live with yourself, even if that's even difficult. So souls that enter into this world are, new to all this, basically. So they easily get pulled into the narrative of that world. Even those that are incarnated in Assyrian and Pleiadian world can get pulled into the manipulations of those planets, even much as society wants something to do with it. It always exists in all societies. No matter where you go, maybe not to a heavy extent, there are cult-like realities in all worlds. It's a form of learning. It might have the best intentions ever. It's still like a cult-like energy there. So many of you become independent and break from it, and yes, it is hell to pay. It is lonely. I wouldn't call it at the top, because many of you feel it's far from it. But it is kind of like at the top. Well, meaning that you're finding the idea of incarnating is to find your clarity that works for you. Others rather be part of the cult system, binary system, you can say, of, let's put it this way. Say if your Venus and Mars were open up, well, you can go to those planets easily. But they still have the control systems as your world. Still have to work. You still have to, make rent. Would you do it? Many would probably say yes, which is fine. But also realize they're making it easier to prolong the programming of your society. Meaning that it's going to go on a lot longer. Now you're disconnected from those planets. You don't have those things. As many are trying to create them right now. Get a job in space. You can work in space all you want, but do you have to work as a slave in space? That's the thing. So, do you want that? No. So this world does have its positives in that regard, where you can disconnect that and be able to live freely as you are working on at this time. Most of society is part of that, non-working freely. Be part of the narrative, be part of everything. Not think for they do think for themselves, but within a confines of limited thinking. As those conspiracy theories, a perfect example of that. They think outside in that conspiracy world. You add an alien to it, they add a spin to it, to the government involved with it. The government's controlling everything. It's all fake. When in truth, a lot of alien beings are very loving beings. There are some that are not loving beings, as many of you know. That's why you're here to bring them. You can say you're here to expand on the alien experience, the conspiracy, to make that normal on your world, but not in the way of conspiracy. But your world likes conspiracy, so it kind of goes in that mode. But the idea is to make it easier for you to connect with alien life, basically. Some humans are just have to run into the cult. It's just the way it is. The cult world, not everyone sees it that way, but you join a group. It doesn't always have to be part of the mentality of the group, but you join a group. There's nothing wrong with that, but many do end up start thinking like everyone else, and that connects to the high mind reality that you have much of that on the planet as it is. So the rules of your earth, yes, you're advancing the human race by being here. All beings that want to understand the human incarnate on this world and go through all the attributes of it at a level that is like insane. But if you want to be a better human, you come to this world. As many Pleiadians, Syrians need this planet for their own growth. Yes, we might run to religions for our own benefit and others, but yes, but then we go for the rules of those religions, and then it ends up causing more harm than good. We are going in through our own soul growth, as you know. It's difficult for aliens to even break out of the mindset of our societies, as you're not the only one having difficulties freeing yourself. Even in, yes, Bashar's group, many are connected. Many are going to disagree with this, but many are part of that mindset. Many don't want to be part of it because that's a high mind also. As many of you know, you incarnate within that group, or the Asasani, whatever they call themselves. As you incarnate, many of you probably felt you've been part of those groups or seen those groups, and many exit out of those groups. It's not so easy, is it? Even with the best intentions, but we have the knowledge. Don't you want to be part of this knowledge? No, not really. The knowledge you have, I want to expand upon it more than I want to look at it from a different point of view, and not from your point of view. And not all Asasani beings or Shikani beings see it that way. Some can be aggressive. Yes, a vicious circle. Yes, not all beings are of the light of intentions. That must be understood by this planet to give away your powers that easy to an alien race or any alien race for that matter. Though there is many different levels of all alien species, as there is human. You can't just connect to an alien and think it's all going to be righteous, as that is one major fault within looking at an alien race. They are complicated as you are, just on a different level. As you see it more, you see yourselves even more clearly. So this is why you are clearing out yourselves at this point. It is vicious circle, isn't it? Now, you don't have to look at it that way, but sometimes the truth hurts, yes. Someone to see is, yes, this is my birthday party. Everybody's going to join to be here. Everybody wants to be here, but that's not always the case. Same as with the other planets. Some of you go incarnate in high vibrational worlds, Pleiadian world. It's like, this place kind of sucks. It's like, this isn't for me. Not that you need to go into a reptilian world and go through that. But some of you are adventurers. You want to, and creators. I want to go beyond. And some of it's like, yeah, some of their worlds that are very open-minded. But it feels like it's open-minded with tackiness. Meaning you don't feel like you're growing to a level that you like to. You're not growing at a level where you feel like you're growing. Because you can be in a high vibrational world, think you're growing, and you're not. With that. Okay, this is timeline junction, shifting timelines realities. Okay, Greetings, this is the Palladians. Your Nordic history has influenced as many other races, as you're all part of the plan to know each other better. Everyone is painted differently, but the souls are very much the same, at least in functionality. And that is for the souls to get to know each other better, to cling on to each other. You create timelines throughout your world history to better know each other, to have wars with each other, if must. There's wars that are not like this on other planets, but there are worlds that are, yes, of a different degree, that are more intense. This world is becoming more of a psychological warfare than a physical warfare. So your entry from spirit into incarnation is a timeline creation. Some of you, yes, invented the Roman timeline just by the energies of your own. Some of you are just Egyptian. Some of you are just Roman. Some of you are Greek. And there's much more to it. I mean, you have some Greek in you. You have some Syrian. You have some Palladian. So you're all fabrics of everything in your universe. To finally get to know your world and where it came from, as if it is the sole essence of who you all are. You're not here for no reason. Some of it, yes, it's a part of you. The truth side is difficult to see. As many of you are, yes, it's very difficult to bring in the truth and the reality of lies. As many souls are here to learn, but they want to continue the amnesia of your planet. That's why it is the way it is. It wants to continue to not know about itself, to be of the unknown, to be scared of itself. That's the teaching. And yes, there's a lot of dark side of the soul. And that's not all reptilians involved with it. It has a lot to do with just with soul learning. If you can make a school here of those us that are con people or those that just lie a lot, as you become more a part of that understanding of where those thoughts are coming from, you can heal it. Like you see all the lies on the planet and all the truth. You see it from all different angles. You can heal your world and go into the next level. So school here, yes, is a lie, of course. The modern history or ancient history is because humanity has been lying to itself for a long time. But that's what got you where you are today. Yes, you're healing the con artist energy of your planet. So timelines are created, hidden timelines also, to keep your world from knowing what it is, what itself, what its true essence is. And now you're bringing in a whole nother level here. Many of you are here to bring cities into this reality. Many of you are incarnate here right now. You are inspiring new realities, new worlds by being here. Might not all accomplish on this planet, but definitely will be found somewhere else. Rest assured. Because this world might reject a truthful place. It's not ready to find itself. It's not ready to heal it. Alien beings incarnated into it or arriving on a planet of lies. They're here to bring a truth, but is humanity ready to hear that truth? Humanity is broken within itself. Well, it's put itself away. As much of the teachings on your planet through education, even through politics, has been a fabrication of what you really are. As many of you are realizing reality is a lie. Timelines of the past are a lie too. Your ancient times are a lie, of course. So how do you heal it? Yes, know your own truth. Know the realities of the past aren't what they say they are. And what are you going to do about it? Mainstream archaeology has always been like anything else that's mainstream, a watered down version of the truth. Yes, they talk about ancient aliens on television. And yes, it's being mocked. There's also a lot of truth to it, but there's much more to it than that. But that's for you to discover on yourselves, much to bring it about into this reality. Their density can be changed. Its reality can be shifted. As you are becoming more truthful to yourselves, more is on the way. Yes, you might be seen as maybe not the most understanding being. Some of you have lost your feeling of emotion, and you're even human, and you lost your feeling of emotion. But for being, well, some of you become very emotional due to life's limitations. We are bringing out a better world, though. Realize that it's all in your intentions, those that wish for it. The timelines will be healed. The past has been altered greatly. Is an altered mess, meaning that there's much more than just an Atlantean history, Lemurian history. As many of you have seen maps, alternative maps of your world. They're not always from other versions of Earth. Some are. There's many ancient other civilizations you have not fully tapped into. They became very ignorant of their own ways and created Atlantis place to reset their lives. And you are here to reset also again in time. As many of you star beings here are activating yourselves at a higher level. You know this. Has it happened? No. But you know you are getting more powerful and you will continue to do so. So this world will have to allow you to be who you are. Humanity might see the lie of yourself, meaning the version that wants to see, but the true version is coming through, as many of you know. So basically, your history of timelines, there's so many. That means the lies of your past is connected to other versions of world, Earth. That is where it is real. Other versions of Earth are keeping you hidden from yourselves. And the elite know this. It's like they have an ancient book and they tore out a lot of the pages. Those pages aren't completely gone. It's all an astral, not easy to see an astral. But for you to reset who you are, a lot more higher dimensional energies to come through the process. Okay. All right. Well, I'll say the day. Today is August 9th, 2020. I was going to do text writing, and I might do that in the future, but until this, I'm stuck in this room forever. It's enough to make you go insane. There's nowhere to go. Of course, I can go outside, but when you live in a place as long as I have, going outside is as long as you go outside somewhere else, like 20 miles somewhere else, then it's all right. So maybe I will try to go somewhere that's close by. That's not that far away, but something a little bit different. I'll think about it, or maybe not. Let's see. So I also want to post here, and I'll post it again. But I thought about doing these once a day, or doing a bunch on a day. I'm not sure I'm gonna do it, but we'll see. What else I have to do? Uh, Sometimes it's easier than typing all this stuff down. Like I say, you're sitting here all day, staring at a screen, make sure I can go crazy. So we'll see. Of course, I can always channel somewhere, outdoors. But like I said, we'll think about it. So channeling the Anunnaki is not easy. ways as deep as we're going here. I don't know how deep we're going for some people, but I don't know how people are feeling about all this. I don't know. I don't go into details on that. I got nothing I deal with these guys. So ever since I started going to Anki and Anu, uh, yeah, it's been kind of a rough ride. So that said, yeah, a lot of beings aren't too pleased with us. I believe there is leading to. It's like this is my version of Bashar. Of course, anybody can connect with him. I'm not holding hostage anybody or anyone hostage or anything like that. It's like, oh, like some people. Um, yeah, what was it? Jane Roberts about was it Seth? I think that's all a bunch of nonsense. I mean, I think anybody can channel Seth. I think it's just a human thing. Of course, Seth might have said that, but still, it's just shit. Who cares? Who cares who you connect with? I mean, I don't think it's right to do that, but fine. It's a human thing. Putting a block there. It's like, oh, this is the most authentic message. How many people are actually listening to her stuff right now? Probably not many. I've never heard her stuff. I mean, I've heard a little bit, but I didn't get much into it. But I guess I need to force myself to listen to a couple hours of it if I can remember any of it. So, well, I just don't hear it repeated a lot. Maybe we do. It's not worth it. So, yeah, I think you hear more of Dolores Cannon stuff repeated than hers. But all right, who am I to talk? I'm just a nobody here. So, who cares? I know it's all human nonsense, but you can open up a cult and channel who knows what and control people, and that's okay. But if you channel Seth, it's an end of your life. Does that make any sense? So, yeah, this is going to be uploaded, made public, probably around October or November. So, at least on YouTube, at least. So, all right, yeah, trying to damage my reputation even more. Yeah, well, somebody's got to do it. So, all right, do Anunnaki Archon connections. The idea is this: the intention here, as far as we get with it, is to go into more of a human experiment, get some more answers on it, how to break out, how to free ourselves. There's a lot. Not sure how deep we're gonna get, but we'll see. That's the intention, at least, for that. Yeah, I've been going through some rough spots last couple weeks or month. So not all the messages have been all that exciting. I think YouTube's been more exciting than these I've been doing, but I don't remember anymore. But so it feels like it's a little bit general. Well, it's just the way it is. Not everything can be very deep and life changing. Just the way it is. So all right, we'll go as long as we can. And if we do continuation, we'll go on the second one or third one. All right, blessings. We're going. Greetings to you. This is Anu. Blessings. Others wanted to come in, but they were shunned away. There was Arturian and Enki wanted to get through, but here we are. Nice seeing you once again. Archon manipulations, yes, goes through music. Certain words are designed to control the mind. What the words are, those is up to you to connect with. And the way the words are put together, these are key words. A certain is an activation for controlling the mind. Some will say the word love is manipulated. Depends on how it's used. What words are there, what intentions are put into the song. As there is a siren energy that goes through songwriters currently. It wasn't always like this. Yes, but now it's more. Now you have one songwriter writing a lot of the pop songs for all these major pop singers. They're all sirens or have a siren contract to hold the soul. Realize how much gifts are given to a singer for manipulating the soul, as in wealth. But all that wealth does make a soul crack open, doesn't it? Like Justin Bieber, for that matter. Lady Gaga, sort of. Justin Bieber is a better example. He is truly wanting to break out. He is losing his mind. There is good there, yes. Not to say there's not good in Lady Gaga, there is, but Justin Bieber is an example of someone that's trying to unprogram, wants to do good, and he does. But he's pulled into an old age because of Illuminati connections. You say his contract was always placed there before he was even born. Now, of course, he knew about it. If you hear he can handle it and break free, but breaking free is not as easy as he thought it would be. So, and yes, there's wealth there, and it's helping his family. He doesn't want to derail that to destroy his whole, as you can probably figure out. So the creation, the control of humanity, of basically there are signals that are brought into this world from archons to program society and elite energies. Some are feline, some are Arcturian. Not all. You can't blame Anunnaki for everything. Yes, we are involved with much of the control. Yes, but also realize, not to say that we're saints, but even Anunnaki beings can be manipulated by other beings, such as Arcturian beings. Meaning we can be used by others to control society. I don't believe many of you heard that one very often. Well, actually, some of you have. Yes, with the Greys being controlled by also Anunnaki can be mind controlled in different ways. Because Anunnaki wants to have the wealth too. They control society. I wanted a nice boat. I'd like to have a ship. I'd like to have a planet for myself. I like to have many lovers, etc. Now, I realize I'm slightly humanizing this, but not entirely. Because a lot of this is using the higher dimensions. Higher dimensional beings are sometimes more and more forceful, not wicked beings, but hard-headed beings that can cause a lot of pain among society, cause a lot of destruction. The reason why it's hard for us to come through, because yes, we can go very deep into the soul. Anunnaki, as we're part of your modern creation, meaning influence, as we'll call it influence, not creation. You're not create humans, no. We're a part of the process of you can say we were the teachers of your 9th grade through college. If you want another, because the Atlanteans are part of your growing up, your initial building blocks to bring you into a teenager role. And we are here to take you to the next level. Of course, doesn't mean Anunnaki's there to help you grow up fully. Some are. But, we'll just let you choose who is your teacher and who is not. How about that? The music industry, yes, has it takes over the soul. It's hypnotism, as many of you know. Words on a book are very powerful, but that can actually unlock one person than to lock. So, of course, your lives are so busy. Reading a book isn't so easy, isn't it? Especially, well, these times it's getting easier, but some are worried about their lives. If life was If you didn't have to worry about survival, your bills, everybody would be reading a book more. It's like, here's my book time. And you would truly be going into yourself. Now, you can do it another way, which is being done right now. As basically the verbiage, like video, is being pushed out even more. It's easier. It's just easier. Reading a book, I mean, you might have a big book, but only like 2 pages might be there to open you up and fully go in. That's a lot of reading for just 2 pages. And finding them isn't always the easiest. You have to read the whole thing, and sometimes you can miss it, and then you have to go back through. So, like, repeating a video is another way of reprogramming yourself, to unlocking yourself. Let's put it that way. Depending on the video, if it's a spiritual video, usually it's unlocking. Now, we want to go to, obviously, we can't go into full details. We want to go into some of these, yes, cult entities, alien cults. Some of them, yes, have great knowledge intertwined in a lot of the programming. As long as you don't get programmed by the program and find little tidbits of information, such as your Blue Avians, and then connect to your interpretation. It's like, and there's this group, I don't really trust them at all, but the idea is to decode your reality. You see the truths of others. You see the truth of a cult. To them, it's telling the truth. But to you, it might be something else. So how do you decode it? Go by what's your interpretation? What's your interpretation of the person that's saying it, and the knowledge that you're receiving? Such as Blue Avian beings, there is a divide. Many are positive, many are negative. The negatives want to keep humans confused. The positives are there to unconfuse. They help you grow your wings. If you want to grow a big, that's up to you. And basically, see what's happening. Your planet elite have a lot of, some are Men in Black, not all, but a control energy across your world. So if you're channeling like an Anunnaki being that's here to unlock you, or any being for that matter, it can be kind of heavy for the message that comes through. For the conduit. So, because the government's not going to be knocking on your door, they'll just use some other way of doing it. And it is them. Oh, yes. It's now also alien disclosure is first on a personal level, and eventually it is on a public level, which your government will acknowledge eventually. And are they going to reveal it? They're trying not to, but it's for, yes, the humans to reveal that is true. But for some, they need the government to reveal it, to just put it back in their face. Because they have a lot of explaining to do, which is quite understood. Okay, this is Anunnaki. I feel like decoding reality. Part 2. Greetings, this is Anu. Again, greetings to you. The reason why we are coming through is, yes, to heal ourselves, also to give you an insight of alien technologies brought to your world. Of course, there's a great, yes, there is a great amount of alien technology. Basically, some of your souls, your spirit people, are Lemurian people, meaning those that are spiritual teachers. Many of them are Lemurian. And they're locking the Earth codes. Many of them been your mermaids. And mermaid energies, technologies, they're connected to a different vibration of your planet. So if they're living a life of calmness, They can connect to the positive timelines of the Earth. Doing chaotic, not getting what they want in life, or they're being attacked by secret government energies, a little bit difficult to connect with. So basically, what they do is they create timelines of where compromise, where they can give not necessarily generic information, but a elementary information, but also go into a deeper energy also. As long as they continue to connect to the new people, to ease them in nicely. As now, this is not manipulation at all. This is just, a compromise, you can say, or contract. We'll call it more compromise, because they can go much deeper. But of course, then they won't be feeling healthy forever. Some of channelers make contracts to bring in, maybe not always the deeper information, gets a little bit difficult, but some are basically an astral given like a Rolodex of what they're allowed to bring through. And there's like a hot zone, a red zone, that if you do this, you're going to go through hell. And some of you just give me that Rolodex and I'll just deal with it. Doesn't mean you're always going to bring about the life-changing energies, no, but you are warming up to it. It all depends. Some stuff is brought out that's deep, but people just... So you'd be surprised. That's the most uncomfortableness can bring in much. Sometimes living an uncomfortable life can bring in most of the detailed energies of your earth. Not the world is not always ready for certain knowledge. I don't care what anyone thinks on this world. Their world thinks they can handle it. We think differently. The spirit world thinks differently. The universe thinks differently. Not even the universe is ready for you to know. It's like having a kid and telling the birds and the bees when they're 2. It's like, are you really that comfortable with that? Well, some are, but for the most part, when you're dealing with a mass collective, it's best just to hold off for a little bit, if you don't mind. Hopefully, don't mind. Well, if you do mind, it's a... Decoding your reality is basically as taking your version of Earth while you're interpreting and believing more into it. And not only your government, yes, your government, from our interpretation, your government was sent here by the Orions to program your society. Let's put it that way. From our perspective, it's not Anunnaki. Yes, we have much for part of fashions, parts of life structure, part of cities, but we are not the government of your world. Of course, some might say differently. There are some Anunnakis much involved. There's a Orion system that is controlling society using Archon knowledge and architecture to do so. The Archons usually are off planet normally, but there are here basically, yes, they do change their genders quite often here, actually. And they don't like getting attention. And some of them are most likely known to be transhumanists too. So your government isn't always of a negative nature, but there is a controlling factor that's there. Humanity on itself is basically, once again, you're used to having a ruler from other realities. Most citizens of this planet come from worlds that have been controlled over time. Not all of you, because the healers come from worlds that have not been controlled. And that is what their needs so desperately. Now, some healers are pure of light, and others have their agendas, of course. But for the most part, they are normally a healing energy. Some have their ego has to get itself checked. And an originality doesn't always exist there. That's perfect. But decoding your reality, one moment, is knowing the Archon magic, magician energies that are here. Are very sophisticated and normally don't want to be known. They're part of the light codes or dark codes, but there are a lot of light codes here. That basically to shut your world down. So where is a light code? So a lot light codes, now we'll just call them light codes, but they can be used for different interpretations, for positive or dark. We'll just call them light codes for example. You can call them dark codes. moment. Let's change your. So how this works exactly? A lot of it's in your Statue of Liberty to give you an idea of false identity of freedom. Goes into a lot of statues also. Now, when the statues are taken down, for the most part, the power is still there because it's in your government and the temples called your government. Notice how you're in the United States, even around the world, government buildings have a certain architecture about them. Nothing new there, correct? As a lot of that's connected to the lower astral control your planet. A lot of the Archon beings control your planet, negative ones, of course, control your world from lower astral, obviously. So you light workers, as you do your light power, releasing the darkness around these temples, which is not so easy. You don't have to be there, physically. A lot of times better you're not. But as you talk to the building, feel the vibrations of the building, and most likely feel this, that there is a presence there that does have a consciousness. It's usually neutral, but not always. It's like a version of a Mother Earth, you can say, with each temple is called your federal building. Where your governors are, where legal legislation is done. So if you connect to your United States government, it's funny how we received NASA as we're speaking about this. Wonder what they want. Where, yes, your NASA is obviously a part of a lot of your disconnect from society. NASA plays a big role in basically keeping humanity in forgotten zone. Basically, yes, we're going into space, but that's all you're going to get. Now they're taking it more seriously. As your government building, especially Washington, D.C., it's all a grid. It's the energy grid, basically centered on your planet. It might look like it's on your planet. It is solid on your planet, but technically it is not. It's on another world. Meaning these beings are going from another world onto yours, walk-ins, whatever it might be. So think of like your Washington, White House, all of this. Think of it as projected on other worlds. The other beings are coming and going. They see your society very well, especially where the rules are made. You think they're going to let your society do whatever they want? Think again. Now I realize many are not going to your society fully grasp all of this, interpret it, take it in. Not likely. Some will. But there's a soul growth that's going on. You're breaking third dimensional understanding. You're basically breaking it all down once you connect to these buildings and these infrastructures. This will not last forever. As you understand these government building energies, what they're doing, they will not have the power to handle their existence. Why is New York City breaking down? Third dimension is just not as powerful as it used to be. Fourth dimension energy is coming in. New energies, new buildings, new structures, new everything. Eventually, you'll start to see it more clearly in your society. Why this is all happening? Why? So as you connect more to your fourth dimension knowledge, its ideas, healing, the structures of manipulation. Humanity is so used to the program, and yes, it goes to your news also. They have a structure, energies, usually have a symbol somewhere. You have to have a symbol to keep themselves relevant in your society. Humans, just once they see that symbol, they connect to it. Wow, that looks really attractive, so they get pulled to it. It's like hypnotism. They go into it, they go into the news, they are the news. They're here to create news. They go into astrals. Here, you want to be a star? Connect with us. You have to do something, of course, to get there. It's usually not very positive, normally. Why people do the things that they do, why they get on the newspapers. A lot of it's just to get attention. Yes, they might go into their darkness, but who pushed those darkness? Who pushed those buttons to begin with? So it's basically looking at your world from a different perspective and way of going of the third dimension. Okay. All right, do part three. So, all right, lessons. Here we go. Greetings to you. This is a new greetings to your society once again. Glad to be here. Yes, we're to get to our position basically is to have to do as what was done to humanity to build a city structure to cause a difficulty. Is to have an incarnation. Basically, a soul does this because someone has to do it. Humanity is out of control, yes, and take on the karma, basically. So I do not want the karma. It's like somebody needs an Amazon.com who's going to incarnate and take the karma for that because he's going to get a lot of it. The soul structures of your earth basically is allowing more fourth dimension energies to come through. Basically, fourth dimension energy has been coming through for some time, actually, as many of you know. And yes, humanity does go into a standstill for a while. It just kind of locks and holds for a little bit. But now you're going into a triangulation of breaking free, but not just yet. There's much you need to learn. You're part of a chapter of a reality, and this is a long chapter as what you are in. So you have it. There is a maybe not the most best positive angle to look at this, but in your virus climate, you know when the chapter began, and now you're going through it. You can look at 9/11, same thing. Of course, you have your Beirut. But your 9/11, you see a chapter of it when it's mentioned, the pain of it. And you go many, 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 many years. You're still going through the pain of it. But then you go into a new chapter, your financial crisis, chapter 2, chapter, well, however you want to number it. And now you're into where you're at right now. Look at trends. Look at how things are moving, how the world goes. The world's been slowly being re-evolved, re-evaluated, rebuilt. You can call your elites all they want. Humanity, yes, is still in charge. It's like, yes, give us an ass kicking. We need it. We're not fully there to fully take back our planet's energy just yet. We need to learn from you, your elites, but also you need to learn from us what we're going through. As you bring suffering, you need to feel that suffering yourself. And they learn it. And eventually it's like they've suffered enough from your suffering and they give up. So the human trafficking vibration that's going on, yes, is connected to other worlds that, yes, are human trafficking planets. So that's another reason why it hasn't been fully released from your world just yet. As you, yes, you're finding your spiritual understanding. Many are still going through difficulty of that, but shadow work is another way of releasing the human trafficking energy from the planet. So as you slowly dive in, you'll start to see it. Because some of you remember lifetimes on those worlds. They're worlds now. You could have human trafficking energy on this planet, but sometimes it's easier to see it from another planet's perspective. As it is, that's all it is. It does not hide it, it shows it. It even makes it look good. As it does with your society, but does it through economic slavery. It may, oh, I need to go to work. Well, the slaves are told the same thing in a different manner. As you're 1984. You can say some of those realities are very 1904 like, yes. Yours is not that much different, is it? So you can say those human traffic worlds are similar to your 1984 scenario, basically. Much more dangerous, though. As those people are, yes, blocked out, their minds aren't thinking too clearly, as yours are not either. Because you're not that far from it, as you can tell. As you explore more of this, you'll see more in depth of it. It is right in your face as you look further. So these books about 1984 and Brave New World is just other versions of Earth, other versions of other planets too. One of them's Neptune. At least at one time, at least. They would go, yeah, it's why did it exist? it's a problem in your universe. Let's put it that way. It's many beings, yes, have their own weakness. A lot of them are insectoid. Not all of them, but quite a few of them are. As you can see, how the insects, at least the ants, it's very slave-like when you look at that. So look at your ant collective, and then think about a slave society. What's your interpretation? This is all we have right now. Blessings. The shift into the fourth dimension. I'm gonna repeat some of these things I've already said about Trump might win this year. I think he's gonna win this year, but also in the decline of America, where America becomes slow, becomes like Europe, most likely. If it's going to change any other way, please let me know. But it doesn't look like it's going to be speeding up anytime soon. We're more like, we're more like hitting the pause button and leaving it there for 10 months. So there's also a shift to the fourth dimension. So movie theaters will probably go away. Disney will. Well, I want it to be a parking lot, but that's my thing. It's like, so yeah, movie theaters will be probably going to be online now. Movies online. It's going to be interesting. And more stuff is going to be sold online, and people don't want to go out anymore, right? For the virus situation. So that's the new normal. And yeah, this virus isn't going anywhere anytime soon. So shifts in the fourth dimension. Bring in more people be coloring their hair all crazy ass colors to have more time for themselves to be able to connect and see things differently, and shift to a whole nother reality of thinking. So that's what we're heading. So, right, lessons. Let's see who you can bring in for whatever it might be. Lessons. Greetings to this Archangel Michael. Transition from third to fourth. The soul basically is lightening, bringing more lighter energies within itself. Where the third dimension idea systems are no longer structured. I mean, the ideas fall apart. Ideas are things. So when your things start falling apart, that means those ideas are no longer necessary. Yes, when movie theaters go away, whatever other infrastructures go away, that thought is no longer, nobody wants it anymore. So as you transition to see where the mind is. Yes, the mind might be in not looking at child trafficking, and it is, but not many people are scared to look into that. Or human trafficking for people are afraid. But they're not, humanity will look at things differently. You don't have to jump into it and save the world, but allow it more in your consciousness to allow the truth to come through. Because it will. Not enough minds are on it for things to change. Because you can't alter time, your reality, and bring in a new alien energy altogether. That's what you're shifting into. That's what's going to happen in your lifetime. You'll see it more. So when you see things, objects, even news, so you see fear-based news, that shows that consciousness is fear-based. And needs that defeated fear because it's afraid of what is beyond that. Some call it normal because, once again, they're in the front seat of a distorted reality. They're not ready to leave the physical realms. As many of you are going more to a non-physical idea, third dimension begins to, wave away and start to erode right in front of you. Even the roads are kind of beat up because, once again, 3D life is coming to an end. More space will come through, or some more spiritual ideas, meaning you'll start to see beings in your skies. Once the fear is released, though, then you'll see beings all the time appear, flying beings. It'll be no big. It'll be like any. It'll be called normal, as it once was in your ancient times. But I think they were all, alien beings that were called gods in your skies. You're going back to that mindset. But first, you have to let go of the shackles of keeping your mind busy. Now, when you're slowing down, calming down, looking at things differently, the 3D life, it shows no longer. Well, Mother Earth also. It's yes, a contract with the Earth. Mother Earth is also allowing that to dissolve into the universe. It is going other places, and it's taking some people with it. The virus is just an idea. It's an anomaly. Anomalies come in and shift the vibrations of the earth. Shift you into a whole nother paradigm of thinking. We're no longer, many of you want to bring alien energies. Well, how do you do that? Yes, you have to make a drastic change, as is occurring right now. But also on a spiritual level, Agarthian beings, as devilish as some of them are, they're known to manifest types of spells for them to be known too. So expect them to start to manifest in your minds first, and then in the physical realm. So who's going to come first? Well, basically, a humanoid being, let's put it that way, which is much preferred by many of you. But most likely, Agarthian beings are prepared the Earth for alien consciousness. So you realize all of you have a contract, and you're fulfilling it. It might not be giving you everything that you want, but it is a contract. Maybe you want it out, and the more you fight it, sometimes it works to get out of it, but you'll get more information too. Now, download information you can easily get. Some can. So basically, your elemental energies are becoming more part of your society. As more people connect more to themselves, the fairies, giants, more of that will become easier. Of course, it all depends on where you live too. Fairy vibrations is part of love. They bring people together, not just Cupid doing that. Also, friends and family, they bring that together too. It's like you can divorce yourselves from war within the family. The family has been dramatically shifted from what it's supposed to be to what it is today. It's supposed to bring more confusion to a family. It brings more confusion than it needs to. So this is a time of unlocking family secrets. Not necessarily physical secrets, but basically higher dimensional secrets. Where does your family come from on an energy level? Are your parents angels? Are they alien beings? Are they unicorn beings? What are they? Are they fox beings? Usually they're very conversationalists. You'd be surprised how many fox beings are here. The fox, this is a canine being, usually likes to stay hidden. So if you have a family member, like a father that runs off, a lot of those are foxes. They go to the next adventure. It's quite common for them to do so. That's one example. The idea of marriage, a lot of that comes from the Arcturians. I know it comes from somebody, everyone has their own way of looking. But now the financial side is more Anunnaki, but the marriage energy is to make it easier for two souls to come together, at least on the third dimensional level, to learn from each other. It's like it's okay to be close together. Instead of just not having a marriage at all and you're together, but it's like, is this forbidden? Are we allowed to do this? Instead, there's a law made, yes, you're allowed to be married. So it brings people closer together on a legal way. There have been times in your past where it was illegal to be connected to anybody. So be thankful for that part. Or fourth dimension vibrations. Yeah, it's letting go of your third dimensional self. It's kind of like coughing it out of your system. A lot of 5D energies that come through, alien energies of aliens that are, some of you have aspects on those planets. But the point is to bring a new energy on Earth, so other aspect energies from your other alien self will come through. So new ideas can come through, such as future cities. There are advanced smart cities being developed currently, where you can connect to it with your mind, where your mind can tell your car to come and go, mentally tell your house to turn on the lights, and you can do that, long distance. You don't have to be right outside. That's a smart city. And that's where you're heading. You're just using technology to get used to those ideas. Instead of having a phone, I can use my mind.